What now? Suddenly I look a little bit older, at least like 4 or 5 years older than I actually am. But the truth is, like, I'm actually the same age. I'm kind of thinking about like growing my beard, and with all my hairs growing out and my beard growing out, I'm actually looking a little bit older. Let me know, like, do I actually look like super old, or is it like it's kind of my fallacy in my head? But nevertheless, I will start the video by saying that, of course, like, no wonder you cannot lose the weight that you're thinking about losing, right? And let's be honest, and let's be clear, precisely. Losing weight is not the same as losing body fat, right? I've been doing a lot of research and, like, trying to basically contemplate that still, like, we're living in the 21st century, like, still, why many people have the problem of losing weight, and why they're still confusing confuse it with losing body fat percentage, right? That's why I keep on saying that, guys, please, if you're watching this video, right, go back to my video. Watch this video first, right, so that you have the clarity in your mind. Watch this video in its entirety, and then watch the video that I made on body fat percentages, right, so that you have a clear idea that what's best for you, and how to achieve it, right? Because not all the body fat percentages that I've talked about in this in that video is okay for everyone, right? So I'm gonna be like brutally honest, and some of you might like it, some of you might don't like it, but the honest truth is that if you adopt this mentality, right, you will see results. Because let's be honest, like, you don't have a shortage of information. There are, apart from my videos, there are, many videos in YouTube, right? There are many videos in YouTube, but still, why haven't you lose the weight, or why haven't you lose the body fat percentage, right? So here's the thing. Reducing body fat does not necessarily mean that you will reduce your body weight, right? Because if you're exercising, right, chances are you're building muscle also whilst losing fat at the same time. So your body might, your body weight might be, basically be the same, or your body weight might increase a little bit, because muscle weight is a little bit more than fats, right? So let's be clear of this first, right? What you should be really focusing on if you're a fat motherfucker is that focusing on losing your body fat percentage, right? Don't think about too much about weight, right? Because I get it, like, why you're thinking about too much about the weight that you have right now is because it's kind of like you can have an instant gratification by just watching at the weighing scale, right? So if you stand on it, you see an instant result, right? Like an instant marker of your progress, right? But then, losing your body fat percentage and not knowing if you're being lean or not in just a couple of days, it's hard, right? You gotta at least wait 3 months to see some significant difference in your body fat percentage, in seeing, in basically having that lean look in your physique, right? So here's the thing. Here's the honest truth, and it's kind of hard to swallow. Stop obsessing over your weight, right? And start thinking about losing your body fat percentage, right? Because if you're watching this video, let's be clear, like, you do want to lose weight, which I just made clear that don't obsess over the weight. You should be focusing on losing your body fat percentage. But let's be honest, like, no one wants extra slab of fat in your chest or your belly, or your in your arms, whatever you're storing your fat right now. And it's gonna be hard because, like I said, the minimum amount is like 3 months. So start focusing on how you look in the mirror, right? Start taking pictures every single day. Then you would have something tangible to basically see if you're losing body fat percentage or not, right? So all this to say is that stop obsessing over the weight, right? Because your weight might increase, your weight might decrease, your weight might stay the same, but that doesn't correlate to your progress, right? And start taking pictures, see if you have progressed over 1 week, see if you have progressed over, 2 weeks or not. So that's what you should be focusing on, right? So let's be clear. Change your mindset. Point number two is basically, I would say that let's be honest, like, like I said in the first point, you don't have a shortage of information. What you have is a fucked up mindset about, fat loss, right? And I'm going to give you some tips, right? It's not just going to be a woo-woo video where I just talk about, like, motivation and stuff like that. But, let's be honest, like, if you, you are smart, right? Because you clicked on this video, you're watching this video, which, by the way, like, if you do watch my channel, props to you. You're one of the few, intelligent people in the world who basically doesn't rely on hyper edited content, but just watch unedited content like this and get straight up value with no fluff or anything like that. Yeah, what you need to do is like change your mindset first, right? So here's the thing. If you already have the information, then the question is like, why didn't you implement it, right? Because the thing is, you're kind of comfortable in it. Like nobody's kind of saying anything to you, right? Because today, in today's day and age, we kind of lack that positive criticism, and people can't comprehend, people can't contemplate that. Okay, how can this guy say fat to me, even if even he or she might be a friend from 10 years ago? She can't tell me I'm fat. He can't tell me I'm fat. That's insulting, right? But I mean, little does he know, he or she, if it, if he or she is kind of criticizing you, that comes from out of love, right? That comes out of care, right? That's the best way to do, is like straight up tell you, hey, you're fat, go to the gym, right? So there's a lot of fat positivity, right? No one is telling you to basically lose weight. Dude, you look ugly, so you're kind of comfortable in it, right? And that shouldn't be the case. The case should be that, hey, fat motherfucker, go to the gym, lose some weight, look good. That should be the case, right? I mean, completely, be honest. And, if you want, you can, basically comment down below, is that when's the last time anyone have said something like, hey, you look fat, go to the gym, right? You don't look good. You have belly fat. You look like fat motherfucker. I mean, you can't even see your toes, based on how your belly is protruding, your eyes can't even reach your toes. When's the last time someone have seen something like this to you, right? And no wonder you're comfortable in it, thinking about, okay, it's not so bad. People are not, criticizing me. People are not basically saying, I look bad or something like that. It's positivity. People really say the opposite. Oh, it's okay to be fat. Oh, no one, really cares how you look, right? It's okay to be fat. Love your own body. It's all bullshit. But because if you truly love your body, you would, get into the best shape of your life. And, even if you're not life, you would try to get in the best shape that you could right now, right? So that's really your point number 2. Like, start getting uncomfortable until and unless you've achieved your dream physique and you've achieved your dream body fat percentage, right? So that's all I need to say. And let's be honest, if you're not living under a rock, you already know what to do in order for you to lose body fat percentage, right? But let's say you still don't know basically how to lose your body fat percentage. I'm going to lay out some very critical, or like say very simple but very important steps for you to take, and it would work wonders for you if you're watching this video. And which, by the way, if you have reached what, like 8 or 7.5 minutes into this video, props to you. Just implement this mentality in your daily life, and just implement the steps that I'm about to give you, and you will see results within 3 months, I promise you. Point number 1, delay your morning breakfast as much as possible. So I eat breakfast at 11:30 a.m. or sometimes even 12 p.m., right? And I have my dinner at maximum 9:30 p.m. Like, it doesn't go above that, right? Of course, I have very rare days of exception due to some work, or maybe I was out late. So yeah, there are some exceptions, but all I need to say is that I eat my dinner at 9:30 p.m. and then I have my breakfast at 11:30 a.m. So there's what, like, we have like 12 hours, then it's like 14 hours of fast, right? What happens when you fast is like your body starts to eat itself, right? And I know it sounds gross, but what I mean is that it basically uses all of the stored glycogen, all of the stored fats as energy, as food for itself. Like, by itself, I mean for your body, right? Of course, you can lose fat, right? And if you need to eat something, don't eat. Just drink black coffee. That's it. Yeah. So that's the first point, right? Second point is that, of course, eat less, exercise more, be in a caloric deficit, right? Of course, that's the thing that you should be doing, right? So I know you want to be at a point where you don't need to basically um, count calories too much, because let's be honest, you're not a bodybuilder, right? Which I've said again and again. Stop obsessing over the things that bodybuilders are saying, and stop doing things that the way that they are preaching you to do. You're not a bodybuilder, right? So stop obsessing over your calories. Stop, of course, you know, this is coming from someone who does count calories, but I've done it quite a few years ago. Now I don't do it. I just know it, right? I just fixed. I have just fixed my eating habits. I've just fixed my lifestyle, and now I'm lean. I mean, not to my liking. I would like to be a little bit more lean. That's because I'm kind of trying to a little bit bulk aggressively. So I'm eating more, but I'm not eating any junk. I'm not eating too much carbs. What I'm eating is like a little bit more of good fat so that it affects my testosterone in a positive way, and I'm trying to eat a little bit more protein so that I can build more muscle. But that's a separate point, which is that eat your breakfast as much as later in the day you could, but then have a little bit of like a smaller lunch, and then straight away go to dinner. No, nothing in between. And then so that's the fasting part. Second is that, of course, eat less, exercise more, and be in a caloric deficit throughout the day. And yeah, is that's really simple. And honestly, you already, maybe you have even much more information that I gave you in this video when it comes to like the tactical steps. But what you don't have, and I hope you've achieved something when it comes to mindset after watching this video, is that you gotta have your mindset right. Stop obsessing over body weight. Start looking forward to how you look in the mirror. And I wouldn't say obsess, but I would say start basically noticing your body fat percentage, right? And yeah, don't basically spread body fat positivity. Be a body fat negativity. See it as something that you shouldn't be having. See it as something bad, right? And that's all I need to say. Yeah, peace.